Alright you lot, welcome to Gaming Hellwire, where patch notes burn and bullshit dies. Today we're torching PlayStation's horror revival, Ubisoft's recycled shooter scam, a fake bully, Game Awards on Prime, Sony's Bungie faceplant, and Fortnite's loot box casino. If your dopamine addicted TikTok cod brain needs it, chapters are in description, skip to whatever you need, you miserable twonks. State of Play in Japan showed up like it took wrong turn into bloody Twilight Zone. And for once, that's not a complaint. This wasn't your usual soy-soaked trailer parade, this were horror front and centre. Dripping atmosphere, death and actual ideas. About time! Rock and Law, Unfollow and Ascend came tearing in like a double-barreled Scream session. Unfollow throws you into a cursed TikTok nightmare with naught but a smartphone and your last nerve. Ascend straps you to a vertical death trap up Tokyo Tower with spirits hanging off scaffolding like broken Christmas decorations. Proper horror. Not Five Nights at Freddy's on tranquilizers. These look like they want you to suffer. Visually, mentally, maybe spiritually. Finally, horror that ain't afraid to haunt you after the screen goes black. Then the drop bomb. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake. Looked like someone dug it out of PS2 grave and gave it a soul transplant. That village still reeks of trauma and regret, and it's beautiful. You take photos of ghosts, but only thing you'll be capturing is your own panic in real time. It's faithful, it's terrifying, and clean as hell. And just when blood was still pumping, we get Tokyo Extreme Racer. I ain't seen that logo since I still had a Blockbuster card. Neon Tokyo at midnight, your car a coffin on wheels, and spirit point system back in full force. Forget grip, forget realism, this is about domination, humiliation and pure arcade spite. No assists, no pity, just rubber, rage and roadkill. But then, they let SpongeBob into Sonic Racing. You were doing so well, Sony! You just summoned pure atmospheric evil, and then let SpongeBob power slide through it like Nickelodeon jump scare. Who let Bath Sponge into the funeral? I nearly drop kicked my monitor. What's next? Patrick in Silent Hill? Still, message were clear. Japan's back on its horror bullshit, and for once, I'm here for it. Ubisoft, Kings of Sabotage. They've got a new shooter on way, codenamed Project Scout, and it's set up sci-fi, large scale, Unreal Engine 5, full crossplay and competitive multiplayer. Sounds decent, right? It does, until you remember who's making it. Same company that fed XDefiant into a wood chipper, gave Mark Rubin and his team a Twitch shooter, then shackled it to an engine made for Assassin's Creed. Never had a chance. They broke it before it left beta. Rubin's team did everything right, but Ubisoft still fumbled it like a greased baguette. And now they're doing it again, but this time with Unreal 5. Suddenly, tech fits pitch. Now they want large scale, twitchy combat with smooth netcode and visual fidelity, and they might actually pull it off from a mechanics standpoint. But that's not where Ubisoft fails. Ubisoft fails at soul. Moment corporate steps in, it'll be insert seasonal grind here, add battle pass there, launch with 5 maps and 24 bugs, and whoops, servers are empty by month 3. That's Ubisoft blueprint now. Churn out games like the recyclable and wonder why it bin keeps filling up. They can say alt-right things, use alt-right tech, even leak it at right time to drum up hype, but it's all smoke. Ubisoft has become kind of company that can hand you a loaded gun and still miss target while you're holding it. Project Scout could be brilliant, but cause it's Ubisoft, it's already doomed. Let's talk about Agefield High, Rock the School. So-called spiritual successor to Bully, crawling out to indie crypt trying to grab nostalgia back collar. And look, I'll be honest, Bully never did it for me. Premise? Meh. Never saw appeal. But I worked in a Blockbuster when it dropped, and that shelf were a war zone. Never stayed stocked. People wanted Bully like it were cracking a jewel case. Now Rockstar's been silent over a decade while people begged for more. No remaster, no sequel, not even a farted out mobile version. Just occasional rumour before they bury it again to go back to counting GTA Online money. So in walks Agefield High, trying to resurrect vibe. You're a student, roaming an open world, skipping class, starting fates, riding bikes, and probably getting expelled in HD. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Kicker, characters look like they're pushing 40 and running pyramid scheme. It's uncanny. They've got high schoolers with hairlines that scream midlife crisis. I've seen less facial fatigue in a smokers support group. But looks aside, bones might be solid. There's clearly some ambition here. Mission structure, systems, world interaction. It's got a whiff of chaos. And if they lean into that, it could work. Could. Not saying it will, but I'd rather see a janky, scrappy underdog trying to channel Bully than sit through another school sim built for influencers and safe space streamers. And if it lands, if it builds buzz, that's when Rockstar might wake hell up. They've been sitting on Bully like it's cursed, afraid to touch it while GTA makes billions. Maybe this lights a fire under their ass. I'm not excited, but I'm paying attention. And if you're one of those still praying for Bully 2, maybe keep your eye on Agefield. Might be middle finger Rockstar needs to see. Right, let's talk about Game Awards. Sorry, ad awards featuring Jeff Keighley's ego. This year's going full Prime Video, cause apparently your free YouTube stream needed corporate overlords and exclusive merch deals to really celebrate gaming. Keighley's out here trying to convince everyone it's same show. We're not changing out, he says. Mate, you got Twitch drops, live Amazon discounts, a branded merch store, and Fallout TV actors pretending to play at games. It's not celebration, it's QVC for nerds. Let's not pretend it were ever about players. You don't vote. Not really. Your fan vote is a footnote. Winners are picked by a panel of critics and insiders who spend more time on Twitter than actually playing nominees. And games that get shown? Most of them pay to be there. It's a showcase for whoever's budget ain't already bankrupt from last year's live service disaster. But now it's worse. Now it's gamified shopping. Watch 30 minutes, get a badge. Buy nominated game 15% off during awards. This isn't a celebration of gaming, it's a calculated Amazon-backed click funnel. And Jeff's still gonna pretend it's pure. Still gonna put on his serious face as he hands best narrative to a game with 12 writers, 3 story arcs that didn't even connect. He'll cry on cue when some dev says, "We did it for fans," and forget to mention crunch the bled through to get it shipped. Game Awards into show, it's a product. Now it's on Prime, wrapped in a bow of brand synergy and empty praise. But yeah, I'll still watch it. I won't miss that train wreck for hope. Sony just admitted what every Destiny 2 player's been screaming into void for a year. It's tanking. Hard. Sales are down, player engagement is toast, and Sony's now re-evaluating Bungie like it's just found out it bought horse meat at stake price. A $204 million impairment loss. That's not a red flag, that's a blood-soaked banner. They spent $3.6 billion on Bungie, thinking they'd get a live service messiah. What they got were an aging shooter, one good expansion, Final Shape, and Death Spiral right after. Agefield dropped, flopped, and that player count slower than the Ubisoft earnings report. And what hell were they thinking anyway? Buying Bungie to teach other studios live service? That's like hiring a pyromaniac to run your fire department. Naughty Dog already took one look at that model with factions, sought writing up wall, and pulled plug, because they actually play games. Bungie hadn't launched out since Destiny 2, and that came out in 2017. 7 years later, engines creaking, systems are bloated, and grind's about as fun as chewing drywall. Sony bet farm on a developer with one game and no plan B. Now Marathon's coming. It won't save shit. No game launching under this much pressure ever does. You can't slap live service sticker on a studio and expect gold to fall out. Bungie might know how to run an ongoing game, but don't mean they can carry an entire strategy built on open spreadsheets, especially when their own flagship product is bleeding players by day. Sony bought a dream, now they're waking up to reality. That's brutal. Right then, strap in, cause this'n's filthy. Epic Games. Yeah, same Epic that's pushing Fortnite like it's digital daycare for the last 6 years. Is sliding gambling into game under radar. But don't worry, they say it's not really gambling, it's just paid random items. Paid random items. Oh, so loot boxes, just with a longer life. Here's what leaks say. You'll soon be able to spend V-Bucks, currency bought with real money, on item drops in user-created experiences via UEFN. And yeah, creators will have to show you odds. Great, so we can now reach chances of getting shafted before we get shafted. Epic's defense? Gambling is against our rules. But hang on, they also admit players will be buying randomized rewards using V-Bucks. So which is it? Either you're selling loot boxes with a thesaurus, or you're lying to your entire user base. You can't say it's not gambling just cause there's no roulette wheel on screen. You're still selling spins. Let's be clear, this isn't some shady third-party app or mod. This is baked into platform. It's part of Fortnite official ecosystem. Sure, it's user-made content, but it's monetized through Epic's own system. They're profiting, they're enabling, and they're playing dumb while cashing checks. This isn't even the first time Fortnite's flirted with exploitative mechanics. Battle passes, rotating shops, 4 more skins. They've always known how to manipulate. But this is next step. This is what happens when your player base is 40% kids and your boardroom's filled with shareholders who smell V-Bucks like blood in water. And let's not forget, loot boxes are banned in entire countries. Belgium called it gambling in 2018 and threw them out. Epic knows this. That's why they're trying to lawyer around it. Change words, soften terms, surprise mechanics, randomised items. It's marketing bullshit for put your money in, pray to RNG. They know exactly what they're doing. They're just hoping you're too distracted by the next SpongeBob crossover to notice. This isn't just a scummy update. It's a red flag for where Fortnite and Epic are heading. And if this thing launches without backlash, every other studio is going to take notes. Paid randomness becomes normal. Gambling becomes invisible. So let's say it plain. This is gambling, wrapped in child-friendly graphics, sold through game currency, disguised with a smile and contract clause. Epic should be dragged for this. And if industry had a spine left, it would be. That's today's dose of digital agony. Like, subscribe and all that bollocks. Drop your comments and questions below. Especially if you think Fortnite's casino-like bullshit deserves age rating tattooed on its forehead. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent